Thank you for clicking on this video. I know there are a ton of videos on YouTube that you could have clicked on, but you clicked on this one, and I appreciate you. Just wanted to get that out the gate. This is Storytime, and I'm Cerise. Today, this story is a little bit, oh my gosh, it's so selfish sometimes when people in life behave this way. But let's get into it. So there's three main characters, and we're going to name them Tracy. She's the blonde. And then we have Sheila, who is the dark-haired one, the brunette. And then we have Tim, who's the guy. Now, Tracy, we're just going to name her Trey for short. She's a lesbian, and she is obsessed with Sheila. Sheila's not a lesbian. She really just, loves men. But her and Tracy have fooled around when they were younger. Sheila more or less just, really liked to kiss and hug and play and rub. And this girl here, Tracy, she was a full-on lesbian in their adult years. Now, Sheila, she is an expat here in the Dominican Republic. Okay? She likes to come here and chill out and just live her life. Tracy came down when she was very young with her dad. They both live in Punta Cana. Now, Tracy, her dad owns a mechanical shop, let's say that. And Tracy, she is a mechanic. Now, her dad also rents out cars to expats and to visitors. So she has a wide selection of vehicles at the tip of her fingers anytime she needs one. So one day, Sheila was talking to this guy, Tim, on the phone. And Tim also lives as an expat in Punta Cana. And so Tim was like, hey, do you want to meet up today? And Tracy was like, I can't meet up today, but I can meet up tomorrow or anytime next week. It's just that I'm working. I'm closing on a house today, and I really have to remain focused. And Tim was like, okay, well, you know what? Let's keep in touch because I have a guest coming into town. And I really wouldn't want him to feel like I'm dodging him to just go out with, a girl. And she was like, oh, okay, well, bring your friend along. And he's like, nah, I can't. He's not really into meeting people. He's just kind of antisocial. So Sheila thought to herself, this guy is lying. Like, he can't just escape for coffee or a drink or a quick lunch or dinner during the week from his friend. She thought to herself, it must be a woman that he's chilling with, right? A lot of people would think that. So she discussed it with Trey, and Trey was like, oh, this guy's a jerk. Sheila, you're always attracting the wrong men. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm telling you, you just really need to get into girls the way you used to. This guy is just an ass, like all other men. And Sheila was like, no, there's something special about him, but, maybe he told me it was a guy friend because it's not like we're really serious. We're just really talking on the phone, haven't really had a first date yet. And Trey was like, no way. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't lie. Like, be honest. Let you know that he's talking to other women. What's so wrong with that? A good guy would be an honest guy. And Sheila was like, man, I don't know, Trey. Like, he doesn't owe me the truth. It's not like we actually went on a date, or it's not like we're even talking. Like, he probably just, doesn't feel like he needs to tell me everything. And Trey was like, you know what? Let's go to his villa. Now, where they live in Punta Cana is a very small area. Sheila and Tim actually found each other on Tinder. And so they were only a couple of miles away from each other. And so she knew exactly where he lived because he told her, my villa is the blah, blah, blah villa. And this villa is a well-known villa in that area. So she was like, that's your villa? Wow. And, he told her where he lived. He wasn't hiding anything in regards to that. So, of course, Trey and Sheila, they go and they get a vehicle from Trey's dad's mechanical shop, and they get in the car and they go and they stake out his place, and they're watching and they're waiting And they're thinking it's fun, they're just having a good time. And who shows up? He walks out of his villa gate and he has a woman with him. And so right away, Trey was like, there you go. There you go. I told you it was a female, not a guy. And Sheila was like, I don't know. Even if it was a girl and he's lying, it just doesn't matter to me. There's so many other men out there. And not only that, maybe he has an explanation for it. And not only that, it doesn't mean that they're going to work things out. It could be an ex, it could be a sister. And Trey was like, you are so gullible. I don't know why you're so naive. And she's like, let's go. So they left. Now, after that, Trey, she was, like I said, the obsessed type. So she went every single day for the rest of the week to Tim's house and videoed. And at the end of the week, she sent the video to Sheila. And she's like, look, they were together all week. And Sheila was like, whoa, like you went there every single day? And Trey was like, listen, you're my girl. I love you. Like, I don't want you to get hurt. You've been hurt too many times from these jerk-hole men. And I really don't want to see that any longer. I just want you to be happy. And this dude is not the dude for you. So, of course, Sheila was like, whatever, okay. And that was it. It was the very next day that she heard on Facebook that Tim got into a car accident, a very serious car accident. So, of course, Sheila, she felt so bad, like even though they never went on a date before and, stuff of that nature, they did, speak a lot on the phone, sometimes at night and everything. So Sheila felt like, you know what? This is a better time than never just to go visit him, just to go see how he's doing, take him some flowers. So Sheila went to the hospital and he was okay. He was badly bruised and he had a broken leg, but she was so happy to see that he was fine. And they met in person and she gave him the flowers. And she's like, I'm so sorry if I'm imposing. It's just that, it's a small town and I just kind of wanted to show you my love and my appreciation for who you are and the time that we did share on the phone. And he was like, wow, my gosh, like you're so much more beautiful in person and thank you so much for this kind thought. No, absolutely, you're not imposing. And she was like, well, I really, I don't want anyone to see me and, I don't want to offend anyone. So she was like referring to the woman and he's like, no. And she's like, well, your guest that was in town, that guy, you said he's antisocial. And he's like, oh, no. I was on my way back from taking him to the airport. And that's when the accident happened. He's like, I'm surprised that, the brakes didn't give out before that. And she was like, oh, okay. She's like, what do you mean the brakes? And he's like, yeah, apparently, someone cut the brake line, or he's like, there's something that went on in the car, but for some reason it worked till I got to the airport. He's like, but then on my way back from the airport, the brakes didn't work and bam, slammed into a tree. And she was like, oh. Now, right away, she felt to herself, Tracy did it. But at the same time, she didn't think that Tracy would go this far. So she didn't say anything to Tracy about it and she just let it go. And when Tim got out of the hospital, Sheila and Tim started to date. Now, Sheila did say to Tim, the guy that was in town, do you have any photos of him? Do you have any, did you guys do anything together? And he was like, yeah, actually we did. And he's like, here. And he showed her some photos of them having a barbecue in the backyard. And in those photos was the woman and a man, the woman she had seen. And she's like, oh, who's that woman? And he's like, well, that's his wife. And she's like, oh. And he's like, yeah, he's like, my buddy, he's so antisocial. He did not want to leave the villa because of course everything's in my house. You don't need anything. And he really came to relax. He's not the type of guy that likes to go on excursions, but his wife, on the other hand, she is. So it was more her and I doing things outside and, but him, he just stayed in the villa for the whole week and that was pretty much it. He's a chef and he did all the cooking. And Sheila was like, "Oh my gosh." And she couldn't believe it. She was like, "This was so amazing. Like he really is the good guy that she thought he was." So after they were dating for about a month, Trey was like, "Hey, Sheila, you're so busy these days. It's like work, work, work. Let me know when you have time to get together." And Sheila was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going out with Tim again this weekend. And I'll let you know when we have time free. Maybe you can come and meet him. And Tracy was like, what do you mean going out with Tim again? You guys have been seeing each other? And she's like, yeah. Sheila's like, yeah, I've been seeing him like every single weekend. It's been so great. He's a real sweetheart. After he got into the accident, we have just grown so closely. And my gosh, like it's only been a month, but it feels like a year. Trey was like, are you seriously giving that guy the time of day? You can see he's a liar. And Sheila was like, no, no, no. He explained everything to me. That was his buddy's girlfriend. He even showed me that was his buddy's wife. He even showed me photos and everything. And Trey was enraged because she was always obsessed with Sheila. But even the deepest part of her knew that Tim was one of the good guys. And when he was what she thought was lying, she was like really relieved that he was actually a liar. But then when she found out that he wasn't really lying and that he was being the honest guy that she initially thought he was, she was irate. Inside her blood just boiled. And she was like, I'm the one that cut the line on his car. And Sheila was like, what? And right away, Tracy was like, yeah, I cut it. I cut the lines for you. That's what I did for you as a good friend. And you, as a good friend, this is what you do to me. You go and you put a guy first. That's what you've been doing for the whole month. I've been messaging you, texting you, inviting you out, and you just keep saying you're working, but yet every single weekend you're with this goof. Sheila couldn't wrap her head around what she heard. And she was like, I'm sorry, you need to back up a little bit. Back up. You cut the brakes on his car. What if he died? And Tracy was like, listen, I didn't do it in a way where he was going to crash right away. It would just pump the brakes slowly and, he would obviously get into a small little accident. There's no hills around. Like, he didn't die. Relax. And Sheila in her head, she's like, no, cutting brakes is cutting brakes. It doesn't matter if there's hills or not. You did something to somebody to risk their life, And so she said to Tracy, she's like, that was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. I need to go. Like, you're lucky you didn't kill anyone. And Tracy said, well, if you tell the police, I'm definitely going to tell the police that you were in on it. So don't even think about going to the police about it. Now, of course, at this moment, Sheila, she knew she had to go to the police about it. She knew that she didn't care what Tracy was saying. Like, she knew Tracy for a very long time, and she knew how dirty Tracy was. But at the same time, she couldn't believe that Tracy would be so vindictive. So she did. She went to the police, and she told the police. Now, of course, she didn't tell her boyfriend, Tim, right away. She didn't know how to tell him right away, but she just didn't want to involve him in that right then, because of course it was her best friend that did it, and then she just didn't know what to do. So the police went and they arrested Tracy, and of course Tracy got bail. Her father bought her out, and when I say bought her out, literally, he went to the police station in Punta Cana and he paid some money and he got her out right away. Now, Tracy immediately went to Tim's villa, contacted, knocked on Tim's villa door. Tim didn't answer. She went on his Facebook, and he has an open Facebook, and she went and she wrote, "Your girlfriend and I planned everything." She implicated herself. I'm drinking some coffee right now, and it tastes so delicious. I drink my coffee black, and I hear the birds in the background. I don't know if you can, but it's a beautiful day here in the Dominican Republic. I'm sorry, I digress. So she implicated herself, and when he read that, he was like, "What?" He contacted Sheila right away, and then Sheila was like, "You know what? I didn't know." And he's like, "But there's like the proof that you were stalking me. Like you were with her one day, and you guys were together, like watching me come out of my own house." And Sheila was like, "I don't know why I did that. It was just the one day that I went. She went for the whole 7 days." And he was like, "This is a little strange. Like, I don't know what to think about you any longer. I feel like I don't know the real you." And Sheila was just like trying to explain to him. She's like, "Listen, that wasn't normally me. I just really liked you. She convinced me that you were lying. And we talked on the phone so much. I really started to get more interested in you than what I wanted to. And I didn't want to open myself up to you any longer. And then here you're like with other women." And he was like, "But we didn't even go on a date at that point." And she had nothing to say. All she said to him was, "I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say." It took him about a month to actually process and unpack everything. He didn't know how to accept what had happened. But then after they went to court and they figured out that it really was Tracy, and that Sheila was the one that told on her best friend and she was not involved in anything, he said to Tracy, "I understand that, a part of you was jaded and you were afraid. So I forgive you for coming and, checking up on me and not believing me." He's like, "But we need to stick together. We need to be a unit. If we're going to be together, we need to believe each other. I need you to trust me." And Sheila was like, "Awesome, I will." And that was it. Now the two of them have been together, and they're going strong. It has been a year now, and they're very happy. And I guess this is a lesson for a lot of you out there. Number one, don't get obsessed with your friends and don't get obsessed with anyone else. Number two, don't convince your friend that the person that they're dating is cheating just because of your own experiences or your own insecurity, or because you don't have the answers as to why that person is not behaving the way you would want them to. And also, if you don't have any proof that a person is lying to you, and you don't have any proof that they could be cheating or seeing more than one person, don't take your mind there. Pull back all those negative thoughts and just focus on you and what you got to get done. The universe is so amazing in the way where it will show you what is truly happening, and the truth will prevail. Everything comes to light. So don't go playing the investigator, and don't go pointing the finger and blaming and getting insecure. Just cool, calm, and collective is the way to go. And remember, not every relationship is perfect. Not every human being is perfect. So if you do find out that there is something that is not within your liking, and there is something the person was doing, then make the choice to back up and move on. Don't use revenge as a source of healing. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Storytime. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blesses. Please join me next Sunday for Storytime. On my channel, I offer random videos. I talk about real estate, relocation, travel and tourism, and because I'm a soul coach, I also talk about relationships and meditation. Please check out my channel. I have videos dating back to like 10 years ago and more on even the law of attraction. So here is like a one-stop shop. If you're coming to visit, let me know. I can help you out. I would love to help you out if you're looking for an apartment, airport pickup or drop off, or even to purchase a land, a condo, or even a house. I would love to point you in the right direction. My name is Cerise Fairfax. Once you check out my channel a little bit more, and if you enjoy my content, I would love for you to help my channel grow. Right now, I am almost at 10,000 subscribers. And when I hit 10,000 subscribers, that means that my channel is going to be opened up to some new features. And I'm really excited about that. I would love for you to help me get there. Take care of yourself, guys. Have yourself a beautiful day. Huge hugs, loads of love, and again, big blessings. Treat yourself good and be good out there.